Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Kirsty Seth-Clark. I am the International Student Recruitment Manager here at Newcastle University Business School. It is the 1st of May, it's a beautiful day, and I am here to talk to you about why I think you should study at Newcastle University Business School. So I've worked here for a few years now. I really genuinely do love talking about this subject. It's an amazing university, not just to work for, but also I think that the opportunities that students get are pretty fantastic. Not just a Russell Group university, but also a really vibrant and lovely city that you get to live in for at least 3 years, depending on the length of the bachelor's program that you do. So the aims of this session, we are going to try to make sure that you've got all the information that you need so you can make an informed decision. Obviously, if we don't cover everything, then you can absolutely reach out to us. The email will be at the end of this presentation. We're very much available to have one-on-one sessions, do individual tours if you can't make it to the campus, or try and maybe talk to our business ambassadors as well. But take the opportunity to ask questions if you need to. Use the chat function. You'll see that on the bar on the bottom of your screen. I've got my wonderful business ambassadors here, Claudio and Mahek, and we will have Diego joining us later on. They are available to ask questions to. I will ask them to introduce themselves just in a second. But what I will ask is, when you are asking questions, don't include any personal information. We don't need to see any personal information. And when you ask a question, ask it to the full audience rather directly to myself or one of the business ambassadors, because someone else may also want to know the answer to that question, but might not be confident enough to ask it. So please ask it to the room. Claudia and Mahek, can I ask you just very quickly to introduce yourselves, tell us where you're from, and also what program you're studying. Claudia, you go first.
I will start. My name is Claudia. I'm a third year doing business management at Newcastle University. A bit more about myself. I'm Spanish, so I'm not from here, and I love it very much, and I'm quite sad that I'm gonna leave soon.
Don't leave. Don't leave. Thank you, Claudia. Mahek, what about you?
Hello everyone, I'm Mahek and I'm in second year studying marketing and management. I'm quite local to Newcastle, so I've always lived here. I just really like the city. It's vibrant and it's just the right size. You can pretty much walk everywhere as well, so I decided to stay here for uni and I'm really loving it.
Great stuff. I do love the walking. I would agree with you on that one. Perfect. Right, ladies. So we'll get into the session. I'm very much trying not to be death by PowerPoint. We do have a lot of slides to cover. Obviously, this is a full session for all of the subject portfolio areas that we cover. So we're going to have a little bit on each subject area. And then if you've got any questions at the end about your subject area, feel free to pop them in the chat. Or if you're brave enough, you can pop your camera on and ask us to the audience at the end. So things that you want to consider when you're making a choice about your university is, the location, the city, the actual university itself, and the business school that is attached to the university. We are part of a wider faculty, and we are one of 9 schools in what we call humanities, arts and social sciences. You want to look at the course that you're going to be studying. So, we never sort of say just go to the website, but the website is a really, really valuable place, which, includes not just the basic content that you'll be able to read on sort of like the front area of the webpage, but we include a lot of links. And if there's a link, click it. There's generally quite a lot of information behind those links. Our teams and our academics, spend an awful lot of their time trying to make sure that we are giving you a good amount of information to help you make that informed decision, which is what is really important. And then obviously, you're going to be here for at least 3 or 4 years, depending on what you're going to be doing. You want to know that you're going to enjoy the program, but your life as well. You're going to be a tourist. We want you to have those experiences. We'll sort of talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the presentation, but do consider the kind of lifestyle that you want to have. You know, the city is very much your campus. We are a compact city. And so you get kind of the best of both worlds, being a student, but also you get to be a local as well and live amongst everything, which is what we want. So why choose Newcastle? I may be slightly biased, but these are what I think are some very valid reasons as to why I think you should choose Newcastle. I think the main one obviously is, you know, rankings and reputation. We are a triple accredited business school. We've got those EQUIS, Amber and AACSB, all very individual, globally recognized qualifications or accreditations. There's only the top 1% of business schools in the world who actually hold this accreditation, so really valuable and recognized by employers, and it's a quality stamp of the kind of education that you're going to get when you come and study here. Really excitingly, we are the business school, the main business school, which is the picture you can see there. That is based in front of the Helix site, which I think is a £130 million investment. The university is one of those investors, and we've got a purpose-built Frederick Douglass Centre, which is just an incredible teaching space. It's somewhere that has got the largest lecture theatre in the northeast, which can be split down the middle. It's purpose-built. It's a really nice place to go and have your lectures when you've got those bigger style, you know, you're not squashed in anywhere, and it's very technologically up to date. You've got the quiet study spaces that you can use, and you've got access to academics who are based over there as well. You know, the growing global influence, you know, our research is some of the best. We've got some of the top minds in the world who will be teaching you, and so you benefit from that. And when you consider our alumni, you know, the people that have come before you and gone on to open their businesses, teach and research themselves potentially, you know, these people want to stay engaged with us, and so we do have a very active and exciting alumni network. And then the international partners, we'll talk more about, you know, who we partner with when it comes to employability possibilities, study abroad options, you know, all these different things come as a benefit when you become a student at the business school. And then, like I mentioned, you know, employer links, it's that networking. How do we get you in front of people? How do we help you develop to become the best employable version of yourself? The city itself, I think Claudia and Mehek will probably agree with me. It is a pretty awesome place to live. I'm an old person, but I still enjoy the young person side of things here. It is very student friendly. We are one of two large universities in a smaller city, so I think the statistic is for every 6 people, one of them is a student. So you're very much surrounded by like-minded people. Low cost of living. In the, you know, global political landscape that we're in at the moment, we benefit from having a very affordable place to live. There's the opportunity to do part-time work. You know, you can choose how budget-friendly or lavish and luxurious a lifestyle that you want to have. Both are very possible when you come and live in Newcastle. We are a compact city, hence, you know, Mehek's sort of comment about being able to walk everywhere. I would say the 20-minute city, if you want to get from one side to the other, you can do that at a fairly brisk pace in about 20 minutes. But it does mean that if you want to have a day out and see lots of different things, you can do that and you're not going to miss out on anything. You know, if you're having a night out, you don't need to worry about getting taxis from various different locations. You don't have to think about, oh, I just need to stay in one place, because getting a taxi somewhere might be more expensive. The beach on the right-hand side there, the beach is a mere hop, skip and a jump 20-minute metro ride from the city centre. Our metro system, we've got a few different stations that you can get to depending where you are, and that's a genuine picture, not photoshopped. We do have blue sky up in the northeast. It is not grim up north. I can very much promise you that. It's beautiful, beautiful beaches, very clean, very safe. And there's a very active surf school, which a lot of people can't believe because they think it's freezing up here. Lots and lots of things to do. There's a huge variety of theatres, art galleries, you know, music, comedy, everything that you would want to expect to get from a big city that you can actually get on a small city size. And the social life, you know, so when we talk about student life, we are thinking about, you know, all the things that you can do to make you a tourist, as well as your academic studies. We are a founding member of the Russell Group, so there's 24 Russell Group universities spread across the UK, and that is about research intensive sort of learning and teaching. So like I said, the top minds at a variety of different universities all working towards enhancing, you know, the benefit of people's lives, not just locally, but also globally, when we consider the various different research that we do. We are lucky to have been awarded 5 stars for teaching and excellence for student employability in QS, that the world rankings. It's not a tangible thing that you can touch and hold. It's something that you might not think is valuable, but actually you will see the benefit when it comes to experiencing the lectures and how you start to think about, you know, the guided independent study that you're going to be doing. Sustainability, close to my heart, but also the university is very keen to ensure that it is working towards the different goals that really are necessary in today's you know, sort of modern climate. So the things that we do as a university, on the ground, on the campus, but also the research that we do at master's level. We've developed a number of programs that are dedicated to sustainability management, and across the faculties and the different schools, there's a lot of things that are going on to help support research, to help people learn what they can do, and companies as well. And for those people who might be interested in having their own business, or just, you know, being inquiring minds, we're top 5 in the UK for funding, graduate entrepreneurship funding. So the support that you would get from our team that can help you really bring your ideas to life is there. So I mentioned the Helix. This is a bit of a bird's eye view. We've got you can just see on the picture on the left-hand side there, the Premier League football club. So for any football fans out there, you've got that literally on the other side of the road. Very exciting, even if you're not in the stadium on match day, just to listen to the roars of the crowds. I really like that. We had that the other weekend. And you can see behind the business school there, you've got the Helix site. It's on the site of an old brewery for, I believe, I won't be lying if I say this, Newcastle Brown Ale, which is obviously our famous beer that we have here in the Northeast. And then actually on the right-hand side is an actual inside the Helix site. So there's various different buildings, all leading to various different schools and faculties. So teaching for the urban sciences. We've got the Catalyst, which is where our national centres for data innovation and health and ageing are. And there's a lot of employers that have opened offices on the Helix site. So it does give a good opportunity for networking and internships, which we're very lucky are quite often for our business school students. This is a very sort of brief slide, and I am going to go through them quite quickly now, because I understand that not everyone is here for all the different programs. Everyone's going to have their own interest depending on what they've applied for. So this is an overview of our program portfolio, all of the different programs that we have available to students who are applying for at least 2024, 2025 entry. And when I go through the programs, it will be sort of like an overview of the program itself. We're not going to go as in depth as you might have had if you'd come to a subject specific area, which I know not everyone was able to, but that is where, if you've got questions, please ask them in the chat, ask them at the end, or reach out to us on our email, which one of the girls will put into the chat. You know, you can reach out to us at any time and we will get back to you about your sort of subject specific interests. So accounting and finance, you know, this is a very, very popular program with us. You can see there, one of the statistics we've got is we have between 130 to 150 students, but we get over 1,000 applications for this program. You know, the value of becoming a chartered accountant, certainly for, you know, having a job that will last you a lifetime, but also potential earnings in your lifetime, is incredibly popular. And we've got those important accreditations as well. Really valuable when it comes to exemptions, pathways, looking to sort of the different career path that you want to take. We have got some great graduate prospects. In the Complete University Guide, we are 18th in the UK, and we've got a 98% success rate of students going into employability. We allow 15 months post-graduation is the UK sort of standard for how we measure that, you know, giving people the opportunity to actually start making those applications, going through the application and interview process to eventually being hired. And you will recognise some of the names on this page. Even myself, not as an accountant or in finance, knows, you know, the big four there. and just some of the roles that our recent graduates took on. So those are the job titles that you could potentially be looking at if you're into accounting and finance. Coming on to economics, quite different, a little bit more maths compared to accounting and finance, which might be a little bit more data. So you're developing your quantitative skills and considering, you know, not just micro, but also the macroeconomics on a global scale. In economics and finance, you're considering the combination of economics and key finance topics, and that sort of broadens your horizons potentially when you're looking at employability. And then the business management and economics, you know, you're very much complementing two very, very different sort of skill sets, but it again helps you decide possibly if you're not quite sure which focus you want to go down, but you do want to do something a little bit more specialized than simply business management. Having that economics and business management focus, it is beneficial, definitely. Again, we've got some really good graduate prospects. I mean, economics and business management, you can't get better than 100%. So I'm really proud to be able to talk about figures like that. Again, very similar employers, but then you can add on sort of like Rolls-Royce, Capita, the civil service. And again, you can see the different titles. And these are the actual roles that our graduates are going into. You know, they're not sort of progressing into these roles. This will be the role that they're getting on employment with these companies. Business management and international business management, two very separate programs. International business management does have a compulsory language element to it, and then you've got your placement year that will come between your second and third year. Now, business management, it's very much an optional placement. Now, I must just add, sorry, to backtrack a little bit, accounting and finance and economics and marketing, which will come up, do all have optional study abroad or work placements, and I'll talk about them a little bit more later on in the presentation. And the capstone projects are really exciting. You know, if you don't want to take the opportunity to do a summer internship or one of our placement years, then you can get employer experience by doing a consultancy project. And that does mean you'll be working on live case studies with employers and companies who do provide them, because they understand the value of our students and the work that they've had done for them in the past. And so we don't have to reach out to get those projects. People do come to us for that. Professional accreditations, still, you know, people don't realize you can still become professionally accredited when you do a business management project program. So you've got the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development that you can, if you choose a certain module pathway, then you can start on the accreditation process to that. There is the Innovative Business Enterprise module, where you do get to sort of pretend with no risk start your own company. So that helps, you know, for the entrepreneurial people out there. But we are very, very keen to help you develop your employability skills. So it's the case study led teaching, live case study led teaching. We do a lot of keynote speakers, and you do get a lot of work experience opportunities, you know, summer internships, internships throughout your program, part-time work experiences, and then obviously the placement year. We do have a really good placement record, employability record, post-graduation, again, 100% on international business management, and some really big employers there, you know, British Airways, which is really exciting. You know, if you're considering the world as your oyster for you know what you want to go into when you graduate, and again, some really great roles that our students have gone into as soon as they've graduated. Finally, marketing. We've got a couple of marketing programs, and they've also got the accreditations that you would expect to see. So your Chartered Institute of Marketing and the Institute of Digital Marketing. It's probably one of the most diverse programs that we've had, and it's got 144 students on it. So marketing is a really, really popular program that we do. Our accreditations mean that you would meet industry standards, and it's informed by the latest research. So that means when you're sort of like coming through, it's really what you want to look to have on a program that you've got be going for if you are choosing marketing. And then from a rankings perspective, you know, we are 11th in the UK, so that's student-led rankings, so really, really valuable. They look at a variety of different things. You can find that just by Googling it, and a 100% employability rate on our marketing program. Again, you know, won't read out the employers and the roles. You can see them. We will share this presentation afterwards as well. You know, if you want to come back and have a look at, you know, some of the different slides and slow it down so you can have a look properly. Teaching and learning, something I'm often asked about. How often am I going to have to be in lectures? It really depends. Certainly in the first year, you will expect to be in a lot more classroom activity based. So lectures, workshops, seminars, maybe group teaching. And you will have some independent study that is guided. You know, you will be advised on what you should be looking at. Again, very, very transparent on our website. If you want to go into the program that you're interested in and go into the what you'll learn section, you'll find a list of all the different modules that you'll do throughout the various years. If you click into a module title, it'll take you to a behind page, which will literally share, you know, the aims and the outlines, but specifically how you can expect to learn, how many hours you will spend in a lecture, how many hours you will spend in a seminar, what guided independent study form it might take. Is it reading and research? Is it assessment and examination preparation? So we're very transparent if you want to see, you know, how we'll teach you, but also how we'll assess you as well. And you can see there the different sort of learning modes that we have. Canvas is our virtual learning environment. So you'll see all your module information by the academics is uploaded onto Canvas. You automatically get added to these sites when you become a student on your specific program, and that is forward loaded, so you can see what you need to plan, what you would expect to see in a lecture or a workshop, what you need to prepare for, if there's pre-reading to make sure that you're getting through the lecture properly. And then obviously we've got all the different databases that we might need depending on the subject area that you're going to be studying in. You know, we've got the Bloomberg suite, for example, for our financial students if they want to take those extra qualifications as well. Very, very different assessment types depending on the kind of program that you're going to be doing. You can expect that anything finance, accounting or economics based is probably a little bit more exam heavy. But then there's also projects where you're not just responsible for your own grade, but it's teamwork. And this is very much applicable to how you would be expected to work in the outside world. So, you know, are you supporting your team? Are you a team player? You know, we don't want people sort of coasting on the coattails or being left behind. You know, it's very much about making sure that everyone is included and inclusive in the teamwork sessions. We do presentations. You've got your standard essays and assignments, case studies and consultancy projects, probably quite different to what you might expect at high school. But the academics are there, you know, in their offices during periods where they can speak to the students if you're not sure about what might be being asked of you. Different support for learning. So obviously we've got Canvas there, as I said, that's where your learning content and the resources are uploaded to. It's where you submit your assignments. The libraries are open, and you've got access not just to the hard copy books, but also to the e-books as well. So you don't have to worry about being the first to go and get the books out. And then you've got those individual one-to-one support and workshops. If you need extra support, or if you're just not sure, you'll get a personal tutor as well. So not necessarily someone who is directly related to the module assistance with, but they can advise you on how to seek help. So, accommodation, a big question. We don't work on a first come, first served basis. So you can actually make your application for accommodation now, and that is a rolling deadline. So you are guaranteed a room so long as you apply by the specific deadline, which I do believe is the 30th of June this year. You make your application, there's no payment, and you have to do research before you submit your application. So that's deciding which options you want to have. You need to look at your budget. You need to look at whether you're prepared to share bathroom facilities or whether you specifically want ensuite facilities. Do you want shared or separated gender? How big do you want to live in a flat size? You will always get your own room, lockable room, but you will live in flats. And we always do sort of advise students, do choose student accommodation when you join us. It can be quite isolating if you choose to go and live by yourself. You know, it's very, very important when you're coming into your first year, you're going to be in the same boat as hundreds of other students. It's the opportune time to make friends. And so student accommodation is something that we advise. You will be told which of your choices you've been lucky enough to receive from around about the 18th of August. Like I said, you know, you can choose to have a washroom, and it's the shared bathroom studio option as well that you would want to choose. But your budget is the key thing. You need to decide on your budget and then find what sits within your budget. And obviously, you know, make sure that all the different choices that you have in your application are somewhere that you would be happy to live. You're going to be there for at least a year. The accommodation team is awesome. They make sure that everyone feels at home. You know, you've got 24-hour security and reception. You've got your smart card to get in. You're very much treated like an adult and you're expected to act like an adult, but there is support there if you need to get support. Probably learn to cook at least 1 or 2 dishes. We find that food is definitely the best way to make friends, and you get to share, you know, your international favorite dish with everyone else that you're living with. And it's a way of managing costs as well. You know, we do find quite a lot of students will actually shop and cook together because it's a nice way of budgeting some of your money. So on to student mobility, work placements and study abroad. So this is about between your second year and your third year. And it's the support that you would get from the dedicated team who can help you find research and eventually go on these placements. So you are able to go on between stage 2 and 3. Most business school degrees do have these placements. So study abroad is 2 semesters. Your work placement would generally be between 9 and 12 months, depending on what your work placement offered you. We do say that they should be paid. You can choose to go into a volunteer work placement where you wouldn't be earning any money, but you do need to consider the cost of living. You would have to cover your cost of living, and that's obviously where the wage comes into play. You'll see there that for international business management, it is strongly recommended that you would choose one of your language, depending on what language you're studying. And then if you're studying intermediate or advanced Chinese, then you do have to do study abroad, and that would be one of our partner universities around the world. For working, it's not mandatory, but it is, you do need to check that, you know, it covers what is required for you if you are choosing international business management. And the team will be the experts to sort of like guide you as to how that really should look. Now, I did a work placement way back, actually, sadly, in another century when I went to university. Quite scary to say that, but I can't tell you how valuable it was to enhance my own education, because I went back to university to complete my degree, but also the different careers that I was able to get into on graduation. I went straight into a management role because I could demonstrate that I'd already had quite a significant amount of supervisory responsibility when I did my work placement, and I could demonstrate projects. So even from someone as old as me, I can't stress the value enough of undertaking either study abroad or a work placement. And it was such fun as well, you know, and it did lead me to, I worked in a ski resort. It led me to go back and work in ski resorts after I'd graduated as well. I loved my career as it happens. So, but like this first point says, you can decide actually if the work placement that you're going to go into is the kind of career that you want to have when you leave university. And if you don't, you've not wasted any time. But it's a great way to find out what you love and potentially even what you don't love. You build commercial acumen and occupational awareness. You can take that then through into your final year at university, take that through into the assignments or the workplace, the workshops that you're going to be doing, your dissertation. You know, it's really valuable. We do see some evidence that students that have done the work placement or the study abroad would increase their final degree classification by at least 1 classification, you know, because you've got real life experience to sort of put into practice. You know, practical skills of achievement. Obviously, like I said, I was able to walk straight into a management job because I was able to show a very valuable resume on graduation. Confidence, you know, you're going to be in a workplace, you're going to be treated as an adult, you're going to be asked to take on responsibilities and projects, and I think that goes a long way to improving your confidence, but improving your confidence when it comes to applying to jobs and going through job interviews and assessment centres. And obviously, you know, the networking opportunities. If you impress your employer while you were on a work placement, potentially, and we would never guarantee this, potentially you could be offered a job when you graduate. And like, there is nothing better to know that your future at the very least is secure as soon as you've graduated from university. Now, I will say that when you're considering doing work or study, regardless of where you're going to go or where you come from, you need to check visa implications, because you will need a visa to go and work in another country. You know, and that is definitely something to take into account. So if you are an international student and you're looking to do an international placement, so leave the UK, you do need to consider those visa implications and costs as well. I'm not going to go through this again. This is basically a repetition of the slide that I've just gone through, but it's one thing I will say is those doing a language skill in their international business management, I did French for mine and I improved no end, because I had to talk French all day, every day while I was living in a ski resort. And so my French improved exponentially, and I think that's something to consider when you're doing your international business management. The next few slides are sort of like, you know, these are the experiences that some people have had. So this student worked at Caterpillar. You can see that it was more relaxed. He wasn't necessarily expecting the situation to be maybe as relaxed as, you know, people worry about going into the workplace, and is it going to be very sort of like old person and not exciting. I think working for Caterpillar would be pretty cool. So, you know, he's really enjoyed it, and I think he's done well in his final degree as well. So study abroad. This will be for 2 semesters, and you do have to choose business related modules, and you do get to enhance your degree with certain subject areas that we might not have here, or they are taught in a different way, and so you can maybe do a bit of a deep dive into an area that you are sort of more passionate about. You are going to be studying and living with many different nationalities, just as you would be here, so it's that increase of cultural awareness. You know, you get to learn things that you're not taught in the lecture theatre. So living in a different country and going and studying in a different country really sort of like helps you embrace that international experience. And again, it's that expectation of improving your language skills, really valuable. And I think the students that have come back have really seen that when they're writing their assignments. Certainly if it's something that you have to write in the language that you're learning, you feel a lot more confident, and you inherently do better, which improves your degree classification. And this is Sarah. She went to our partner Kedge Business School in Bordeaux. She absolutely loved it. She majored in corporate social responsibility in her first semester, and then she did a French language course as well, which really helped her. You know, you might go to France and expect to just be in a classroom with French people, but actually in my role, I travel the world, and I meet people doing my job, but for French universities, and they very much have the same sort of international life that you would expect to find in a British university. So it's great, especially if everyone is coming in and also having to learn French and be taught in French. So it's a really nice sort of atmosphere to be involved in, and you don't feel alone. So I know that Sarah really did have a great time as well. Next few slides are the kinds of work placements that we have available. So this is the current year students that started a couple of years ago. So they are in their what would be their 3rd year, their placement year now. They started that in September 2024. So these are our business program work placements. So again, you can see a variety of different companies that you would recognize, and the roles that they're doing. You know, these are not just come in, make coffee, photocopy and file things. You know, one of the things that you have to make sure of, and it's part of our role to make sure of, or the team's role to make sure of, is these are really valuable experiences for you. You know, you have to gain some experience, some skills that you wouldn't be able to gain at university. And so we do monitor to make sure that you are getting relevant projects for when you're on your work placement. Our marketing students, again, from September, you will see potentially some companies that you recommend, and then you can see some of the placements that you've got. We actually have a marketing intern with us who is doing an accounting and finance program. So her degree, her bachelor's, is in accounting and finance, but she is our marketing intern because she's discovered that actually that's something that she's a bit more passionate about. So actually you can see her on this list just at the bottom at Newcastle University Marketing Internship. So that's the lovely Leah, and she's doing an absolutely fantastic job. So that kind of demonstrates that just because you're doing one particular degree, you're not limited to that industry, that sector. You might decide that you enjoy the subject area, but actually from a career perspective, you can use the skills and tools that you've learned academically, but you want to use them in a different industry. And Leah's decided to come into a bit more of a creative industry. And finally, we've got the economics students. So Office for National Statistics, Aldi, Visualsoft, EY. You know, we've got EY not just in London, we actually have EY based up here in Newcastle as well. I think it's exciting for students to, if they're going to stay in the UK, they want to experience somewhere else in the United Kingdom. So I think that's quite good, just to sort of like come out and see a bit more of the wider world when they're going to be doing their work placements, for sure. The team is excellent. Ellen, Anna and Aaron, they're fantastic. They're based on the 6th floor of the business school there, and they will support you from start to finish. They will start coming into lectures in your second year to tell you, these are the meetings that we've got, these are the consultation times that we've got, come and chat to us, tell us what you want to do. We'll tell you if it's possible. Be aware that there are some really, really popular places that people want to go. Australia and America are probably two of the most popular countries where our students want to go and study. So you need to remember that you are applying for these, because you are applying for these roles. If it's a work placement, you're applying for them as if you're applying for a job. So you do need to take into consideration writing a good CV, and I'm about to come into the careers team information in a second. Practicing for interviews. There may be assessment centres, even though it is a work placement. So it's that preparation that you need to do to be successful. You can't expect to walk into a work placement. You do have to put the background work in. You need to be engaged really from the beginning of the process. Students that are coming to us in sort of July, August, when things start in September, you may be lucky, it may not be your dream option of a work placement, and it's something to bear in mind. So while we talk about how amazing these things are, you do need to engage in the process of a lot of these things so that you are successful. Careers and employability. We are actually lucky as a business school. We're the largest school in the university, and we have a bespoke careers team that, whilst they are linked to the central careers team, it's one of the largest careers team in a university in the United Kingdom, and they win a lot of awards for the work that they do. Ours are a part of that, but they are based in the business school. And so they have a careers hub in the reception of the business school, so that you are able to do drop-in sessions with them. Perhaps you found a part-time job that you want to apply for. Perhaps it's coming to your graduation time and you are considering, I'm at 6 months towards graduation. I need to start thinking about, applying for jobs and things like that. There's a lot of literature that's down in the reception area that you're able to help yourself to, but they also will sit down there as well, so you can do drop-in sessions or make appointments with them. You'll meet them in your induction, so they will introduce themselves and do sessions during the induction, and they will tell you all about the different sort of process and opportunities that they have on. And again, the key thing that I will always say is we have all of this amazing opportunities for our students. The teams spend an awful lot of time and expertise putting together these opportunities, but you must engage in them for them to work for you. So engaging with the careers team from your first year, and making sure that you stay in touch, make them your friends. They might think about you if a job opportunity comes in. They might go, oh, Mark, that's perfect for Mark. I'll drop him an email to make sure that he's aware. And they do send out daily emails anyway, telling people about internship opportunities, summer opportunities, volunteering, graduate jobs and things, depending on the time of year. So you will get them in your inbox daily. So you've got your careers planning and application technique. You've got skills development, industry insights, and then you've got work experience and job opportunities. So our careers consultants are all qualified. They all need to do a master's in careers consultancy. And we work with different platforms that are sort of like recognised nationally to help you be successful in that job hunting. And they can help you with all the different sort of preparation that you would expect to get from a careers team. Skills development, are you missing any soft skills? Is there anything that you might not be getting from the academic side of things that actually would be really valuable for you? We are the only school and university, I think, to offer LinkedIn Learning for free for our students while they come through their student career with us. Really valuable platform to use, especially if it's about learning about soft skills, or if you've discovered that you're quite passionate about a certain area of the course that you're doing and you'd like to, get to know it a bit more. LinkedIn Learning is one of the best places to do that. I mean, I use it as a staff member and it's fantastic. Project management is a big part of a lot of roles now. There's a lot of different project management platforms out there. You can Google it to sort of try and learn about it, but it can be a bit overwhelming. There are actually sessions of the different platforms that you have access to help you project management not just your career, but it'll help you in your academic side of things as well. We do have the Bloomberg Trading Centre, so we do run a course. I think it's generally between January and March, April time of every year. So for people who want to get that experience of becoming a sort of like a certified Bloomberg trader, the basic level, you can certainly do that. There are competitions, and you can see that 4 NUBS teams were actually ranked in the top 10% globally, and that means that the work that they've done basically has been recognised, and it's something that they can add onto their resume. Everything can be verified by us and by Bloomberg. So when you're going out to employers, it's just something else to shout about that you've done. We've got the industry insights. So these are different sessions that might be put on, whether that's keynote speaking, whether that's networking events, learning how to network, attending guest lectures, going and shadowing someone in their workplace to see if it's something that you might want to do. So there's a lot of things that people are invited in to talk about, so you don't need to go out and find those people. And these are just a few of the our favorite sort of employers that we work with, but these guys come back year on year. The value of our students is recognized. The quality of our students is recognized, and that's not just down to us and sort of how we teach. It's down to you guys as individuals as well. People are really passionate. You understand the value of the careers sort of process, and so we see that demonstrated day in, day out with the success in our students. So moving on to student life, so you're not just going to be coming and sitting in a classroom and handing in assignments, eating and sleeping. Like I said at the very beginning, we want you to be a tourist. We want you to have that experience. Newcastle's a great city. I'll probably ask Claudia and Mehek to go into that a little bit more at the end. But, there's lots of different things that are completely unrelated to academia that we genuinely want you to get involved in. So Newcastle University Students' Union is on the main campus. You will get discounts automatically by becoming a student at Newcastle University Business School. You can use that at the local co-op, which is on campus, to reduce the price of your groceries, and any sort of socializing that you're going to be doing out in the wider sort of region. You will often get those student discounts. So whether it's social nights, club nights, gigs, going to see bands play, certainly getting into theatres and transport is all discounted. So you can get around. You don't just need to look at the northeast. You can go and see the city. We're perfectly located in the middle of the United Kingdom, so at the top of England, but the middle of the UK, which means we're a perfect hub for getting out to lots of different places. to go and visit. We have a Give It a Go club, so you can, you know, if you fancy trying something new to see if you want to kind of, you know, maybe invest in it if it needs equipment, you can give it a go. We've got the people on hand to help you with that. Volunteering, you know, I think, you know, whilst we don't expect you to try and sort of build your resume with all sorts of different experiences that you've had to showcase employers, they do want to see a rounded person. You know, they do want to see that you have added value to your local community, because how are you going to add value to them as their company, their community as an employer? So volunteering is a really nice way to do that, you know, to really give back to the local community as well. NCL Plus award. So any extracurricular activities that you're doing, you can get recognition for that, and that's all sort of advertised amongst the different activities that we might be putting out there. By taking part in certain things, again, you can build your skill set and to be able to showcase when you finally graduate. 180 societies. I mean, everything from debating. We've got a Harry Potter society. I think you can learn how to play Quidditch. Cookery. We've got various different societies for different nationalities. I think the Latin American Society is one of the most popular, because they're probably the most gregarious people that we have. And I mean that as a full compliment. They bring a real vibrancy to the campus. And I love sort of meeting our Latin American students. But, you know, if there's not a society and you're interested in something, find, I think, 4 other people and you can start a society. And so you can really sort of like engage others in something that you might want to share your passion with. The sports centre was fairly recently refurbished. I think about £30 million is invested in the sports centre. You get quite a heavy discount on that as students, you know, if health and fitness is something that you're into. And then obviously we've got different museums and theatres, you know, not nightlife isn't for everyone, but really there is something for everyone in the city of Newcastle, depending on how you want to spend your spare time. So we've come on to Q&A. I'm going to very quickly move on to this slide here. So what I'll ask is for anyone just to scan the QR code. You know, if you want to you know, if you want to be in the chance with winning a £50 Amazon voucher, I'd be incredibly thankful if you just scan that QR code while you have an opportunity, while I've got it on screen, just to fill out that form. You'll need a couple of details. I think you need your UCAS number and the programme that you've applied to. And just remember, it's the 1st of May, you're at the virtual offer holder event. And that means we'll be able to sort of see who's attended where. But any feedback would be absolutely fantastic. You know, did you enjoy it? Could we have included more information? You know, is there anything specific that you might have wanted to find out about? So I will stop sharing my screen now, and that brings us back. So Claudia and Mehek, thank you very much for joining us. And, you know, to everyone else, just as a reminder, we are obviously recording this, so this will be available for sharing, and we will put this out into our comms to anyone that maybe wasn't able to make it. Claudia and Mehek, very quickly, each of you. I guess what I'm interested in, I don't want to bombard you with questions. I suppose this is now a chance for you to sort of share what you're studying again, for anyone that might have missed it at the beginning, where you're from. And I suppose it's why did you choose your bachelor's at Newcastle University, and the programme, but any particular experiences that have stood out to you? Have you done an internship? Have you done a trek? Have the careers team been valuable for you? You know, anything that might help sort of other students. I mean, you could listen to me talk all day, but actually I think it's good to hear from you guys. So Claudia, I'll start with you.
Also, I could speak for years as well, because it's my last year, so I've done pretty much everything. My name is Claudia. I'm a 3rd-year student doing business management. I'm from Spain, so the UK is not something that I was used to, but I love Newcastle. It's really safe. Had the best uni experience I could possibly have asked for, really. I've done an internship with Newcastle. I've also done the summer year. It's not a year abroad. It's a summer time abroad, which is a bit different. Instead of doing the 9 months year abroad, I just did 3 months. Actually, I did 1 month during the summer. Why I chose Newcastle for my specific course was because Newcastle offers a BA, Business Management degree, which is different to other universities offering a BSc university degree. So that means a BA means that it's less maths, it's more essay based, it's more qualitative than quantitative, if that makes sense, which was perfect for me because I love business, but maybe maths wasn't my strongest suit. So that's essentially that's what made my decision to choose Newcastle. But also, having the beach close was also really important for me, having the sea close. So Newcastle offers the beach, is also very student based. So compared to maybe say London or Manchester, Newcastle really offers the student life, offers being, as soon as you get out of your house, it's very student based, which is really important for me because if I ended up choosing London or Manchester, it's such a big city that everyone is working or a student, it doesn't really feel like campus anymore. So that's another reason why I chose Newcastle. End of all, very pleased with my studies as well, now that it comes to an end. I didn't do a dissertation. I did a consultancy project, which is also something that I'm really happy about. I'm sure other universities are also offering some kind of alternative to dissertations, but in Newcastle University, I am really pleased that, they don't only offer a consultancy project, they also have another 2 options in business degrees. And yeah, I could speak for hours about all the options and available things to do.
Do you want to tell us where you did your internships and your summer placement? Who was that
Yes.
with?
So my internship, I did it actually in Edinburgh,
Oh,
for
nice.
3 months. I love Newcastle, but for the summer I wanted a different experience. Now that I'm in the UK, I loved Edinburgh. I did it with Enterprise Rent a Car. So
Yeah.
I was in a sales position. I had to guide customers through their rental journey, trying to also sell insurance and obviously delivering the best customer service that I could. It was not advertised as sales, it was more advertised as project management, which is,
Mhm.
bit of
Different.
a bit different, but I kind of did sell. I did a bit of everything. I was the intern for the summer, so I had to cover most roles. But I had a really pleased experience. My confidence increased so much after that. And for the summer abroad, I was in Madrid. I went to Madrid University for 1 month, and again, a project management course. You can see where I'm going in life.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I met so many people. Again, Madrid is somewhere that maybe I'm a bit used to because I'm Spanish. That's not where I'm from, but all my friends went to Madrid University, so I kind of had a feeling of what would be like. But again, so satisfied with my experience, had the best time. And yeah, between the internship and the summer abroad, I got to network with so many people that I'm still in touch with, which is
Great.
valuable for me.
Yeah, networks, I think we
Yeah.
can't talk enough about how important networks are. It can be really daunting as well. People think of networking and they think of just walking into a room and having to talk to strangers. But actually, networking comes in so many different forms. And whether that's, doing a placement and just naturally meeting people that you will work with and who become colleagues, that's a networking opportunity. So yeah, I'm really pleased. That sounds like you had a fantastic time. That's really good, Claudia. Thank you for sharing that. Mahek, what about you? Tell us about yourself and your experiences.
So, hello everyone. I'm Mehek and I'm in second year studying marketing and management, and I'm from Newcastle, so I'm quite local. I love it because, as Claudia said, it is a really safe city. There are a lot of things to do here. It's like a small, nice sized city. You can get around quite easily. Public transport is good, or you can walk everywhere. So that in that aspect, it's really nice. And the business school is situated in a really nice place as well because we've got Northumberland Street just here. So you can walk around, do some shopping, and it's really convenient for students. During my time at Newcastle, I've also used the career service a lot. And I think that's what helped me to land a placement year with Procter & Gamble. So I'm quite excited to start that in July. I did get in touch with the career service a lot, and we can book one-to-one appointments with them. So we have a portal called My Career, so you can get a one-to-one appointment about CVs or interviews, or just discuss your application in general, and they offer you a lot of support that way. Another thing that we did was the application workshop. So before the cycle of applications started with P&G, we went to their office in Newcastle. So this was organised by the business school, and they took a group of people who wanted to do placements there. So there we got to network with the interns, learn about the application process, and hear from their hiring managers as to how they want the CVs to look. So I think that was what really helped in terms of getting everything to look right before we sent the applications off. And we got that extra support from the careers team, like reviewing it, submitting drafts to them and asking for their feedback. That was really helpful because they're quite well qualified with this kind of stuff. And I also did some mock interviews with them, so that really like solidified and made me more confident. So on the interview day, it was quite similar to the mock interview that I'd done with the business school, so that really helped me as well.
That's good. That's good practice. I'm pleased they've been so valuable for you. I mean, I rate them, but obviously it's really important that our students rate them and that you actually get the experience that, that we go out and say, hopefully that you are going to get. Oh, it's really exciting that you're going to P&G then. That's very exciting. So that's here in Newcastle. You'll be staying in Newcastle.
Yes, that's in Cobalt Business Park. And that'll be a supply role, so it's quite similar to what I'm studying as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so you can come back and be a business ambassador next year and you'll be able to share all of your placement experience.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh, great stuff. Fantastic. So I'm going to come to questions from the audience. You've sat through what is a very long presentation, so hopefully it was valuable. And I don't, no pressure to turn videos on or speak directly to us, but couple of seconds. If you've got anything that you want to put in the chat, do it now, because we'll be able to answer them for you right now. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write our email address in the chat box. Check that is correct. So the email address is in the chat function there. You can copy and paste that, and you can send us an email and we'll be able to get back to you. If you want to organise a one-to-one Zoom with us, then that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, Antonia, do we offer a year abroad in Australia for economic and finance? That really actually depends. We can never guarantee where our placements, our study abroad placements are going to be. Partnerships are quite fluid, so they do change. If you're going to be joining us this year, then that is something to speak to the mobility team about. You're not limited to interacting with the student placement team until your second year. You can absolutely approach them. So what I would say is, if you want to get any summer opportunities or internships and start thinking about placements, they will be, again, there'll be an induction session, and they'll be able to tell you. So we can never sort of guarantee where the study placements might be, only that we absolutely will have them. Australia would be a very, very popular place if there was one. I'm going to ask, are you from Australia, or is it just a country that you would like to visit? Just wait to see what you pop in the chat, if you want. George, do you have any questions at all? Is there anything we can help with? I mean, Antonia, yes, I think from a year abroad perspective, what I will say, if we do have any partners in Australia at the time, is you will have to make sure that your study record is top level. So we would be looking at high performing students. It's the other university that would be sort of making decisions, and they would be looking at quality students. So if it is something that you're interested in doing, then you need to show that you are performing well in your first and second year. And that will put you in a better opportunity to get one of those placements if we do have one in Australia. On results day, George, no. So what would happen is you would automatically If we've made you an offer and you meet that offer, then it will, on the day of results day, you will see in your UCAS profile that that offer is unconditional firm. You've made your offer, but you should be able to tell if on the day when you get your results that you've met the requirements that we've asked you for, then there's no problem there. So you don't need to ring to do anything. What will happen is next steps will be shared once result day comes around. So that's no problem. It's only if you were to miss out by a number of points, perhaps, maybe we ask for 2 A's and a B, and you get an A star and 2 B's, for example, and it potentially, because it's an automated system, it might come out as a reject. And in that case, you can call us. And what will happen is at the time, you would go onto our website on results day, and it's called clearing. You'll have been told about clearing, and you will see that there will be a hotline number very, very clearly advertised on the front page of our website. And we have hundreds of staff involved in clearing. So really, when you call, you should get straight through. It's not something that you would have to sort of like wait for and call back for. But it is an automated process. Okay. Last call for questions. I'll give you a couple of seconds to type them into the chat. No problem. Happy to help, George. If that is everything, though, I will stop the recording.
Question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, George.
Yeah, so my school have issued this like extenuating circumstance thing with my teaching.
Okay. Yeah.
I admit that personally to the uni or do it through UCAS.
So what will happen is if you have extenuating circumstances from your school, then that should be taken into account at the time of marking any A levels that you are taking, depending on whether it's an exam, whether it's essays, and also depending on what it has impacted on. So if they are taken into account at the time of marking, then obviously that should mean that if they go, oh, we might have given him a B, but he's got extenuating circumstances, so we'll give him the A because we can see historically from his work that he's been doing now, prior to these circumstances, was at that level, in which case the university then won't take it into account because it has already been taken into account by the school.
Okay.
If it hadn't been taken into account by the school, and you've not asked for any special circumstances to be considered, you could then send that information to the university and we would take it into account, but it can't be done from both parties.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. I'm happy to go into that in more detail individually if you want. Send us an email and I can, and we can organise something if you want to talk about that a little bit more.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, no problem at all. Anything else from anyone else? Because I know this has been a long one and it's always interesting sitting through such a long PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so I'm gonna thank everyone for coming. I do appreciate your time. I'm gonna stop the recording now